This December, 2 songs. One journey. And does he return? Introducing the Christmas specials. Might be a whistle. My mother said you should never slurp your tea. That's good tea. So, hi guys and welcome to another video. So in today's video I've got a haul video for you. A very long overdue haul video actually. I should have started selling these items about 3 years ago when I first started. But it never really crossed my mind. Obviously people would tell me, you know, sell what you love and everything. But back then I was quite happily selling Lego. I really enjoyed Lego. I was selling board games, the rest of it. I was very happy to sell them. But it never really crossed my mind, or maybe it did from time to time, to actually sell what these figures are. And these are going to be Doctor Who figures. Now, if you have obviously watched my channel for any length of time, you will know that I have a massive love for Doctor Who. Obviously, I've been watching it since the series came back in 2005 when I was 9 years old. And I absolutely loved that first season. And then I remember seeing the regeneration and thinking, wow, this is really cool. So I always have had a massive love for Doctor Who. And recently, over the past couple of years, I've started to go back into classic Who as well, and I'm now starting to explore the Big Finish audio ranges as well. So with that being said, we'll get straight on with these. First off, I'm going to show you a selection of new figures which are priced at all the same range, which is £10 plus postage. With that all being said, we'll get on with the haul, and I'll just show you these new figures first off. So, now some of these figures are carded on a green background. Now, of course, I'm using a green screen, so they're going to show up as kind of transparent there. But essentially, this bit here is just green. So, we've got Novice Haim on here from the Series 3 episode Gridlock, which was Series 3 episode 3. And yeah, really cool. She's like a Catwoman. She used to be a nurse. However, the city, in Gridlock, the city was basically abandoned. And basically all the inhabitants of the city were on the underground motorway. Unless you watch the episode, you won't really quite understand it, but I would very much give this episode a go. A lot of fans agree that it's a pretty cool episode, and I certainly agree with that. And yeah, we see Novice Haim, who is looking after the face of Bo. He is obviously, well, sadly dying. But yeah, so pretty cool figure. Again, just these are all just going to be standard range, £10 plus postage. I'll try and be as quick as I can, but you know how much I love Doctor Who, so I might do a bit of rambling in between, so I apologise about that. But I'll try and be as quick as I can and not ramble too much. So here we've got, I believe it's Lilith. I didn't actually know her name, I just knew she was a Carrier Knight, and basically Carrier Knights are basically Doctor Who's take on witches. And yeah, this was from the episode Shakespeare Code, or the Shakespeare Code, in Series 3. I believe it was episode 2, this one, so one episode before Gridlock. And yeah, obviously we get William Shakespeare in that episode, and again, it's quite a decent episode, but I've not watched it in a while. It's not like a really standout episode. I suppose it is a bit forgettable, but it's a half-decent episode at least. So, and obviously my tastes are going to be different to other people's tastes, but yeah, there's that one anyway. Again, £10 plus postage. I'll try and speed up. I really will try and speed up. So, we've got Laszlo, again, another Series 3 figure. He was turned into a pig slave, or that's what I call him. I don't know whether that's their exact official name. But he was turned into a pig slave by the Daleks. Again, this is Daleks Take Manhattan. Is Daleks Take Manhattan? Yeah, I think it's Daleks Take Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. But I always get the title confused with The Angels Take Manhattan, so I don't know, I might be slightly off on the title there, but yeah, essentially it's where we see the human Dalek Sec of the Cult of Skaro turns into a human hybrid, essentially. Very cool episode, very cool set of episodes, actually. I really do like them. I've not watched them again in a while, but I think they're pretty cool. I mean, I suppose it depends on whether you like the Daleks and stuff, but I do really like the Daleks, so... Although I probably prefer the Cybermen over the Daleks just about, maybe, I don't know. I'd say they're up there pretty much equally, to be honest, but yeah, anyway, there's Laszlo. But then the Doctor, he almost dies at the end of the episode, but the Doctor manages to save him, which is pretty cool. So yeah, next one. So next we've got Series 1 figure, Series 1 with Chris Eccleston and Billy Piper. Obviously this is from episode 3, which was the Unquiet Dead with Charles Dickens. Obviously, again, I love the historical episodes, really do like them. I've always liked them, I think they're pretty cool. And yeah, this is like Gelf Zombie, so she's in the body of a human, and it's like a kind of gas creature. I think they were coming from... No, we weren't coming from another universe, but we were coming from the other side of the universe. Their planet had basically got destroyed in the Time War. So essentially the Doctor had compassion for them because obviously he was the one to end the Time War. And then he obviously let them through. However, their motives were actually pretty terrible, and they wanted to seek basically a world to build again, but actually their motives were the other way. They wanted just to take over the world. So yeah, they let them through the gateway basically, which was under the rift, and yeah, they basically started taking over people's bodies. But then they destroyed them by turning on the gas and sucking the gas out of the human bodies and back through the rift into... I don't know whether they sucked them back through the rift into... you know, back through to the other side of the universe, or whether they were sent into the void, but I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, pretty cool figure. Sorry, I'm rambling again. I know I can't help me with Doctor Who. I have to ramble a bit. So next we've got the Series 1 figure, again, a set of episodes that people love. I mean, I'm not even coming to any episodes that are bad here, but a set of episodes that people love, which is The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. This is Dr. Constantine, who is obviously a gas mask. People call them gas mask zombies, but I suppose that's probably the best description. But yeah, very, very good episode. Obviously, the bit at the end where the Doctor says, "Everybody lives," that's a really, really powerful moment. I always watch that. Doctor Who or BBC YouTube channel have that uploaded, so I always give it a watch. I always watch the powerful speeches in Doctor Who. I very much love to watch them. I love the Wings of Akhaten speech as well. But yeah, we've got Dr. Constantine there. So yeah, pretty cool figure. Again, standard range. These are all just going to be a standard range of £10 plus postage. So we've got the Cigarette Leader. Not really much I know about these, you know, this alien species, to be honest, but there's not really much to know. They seem like quite a primitive race. You know, obviously their ship is quite, it's built of that kind of rocks and boulders. It seems like they're not particularly advanced in one way, but I suppose they are more advanced than the human race at the point we meet them. But yeah, this is obviously the regeneration story, which was, I think it was, I don't know whether it was the Christmas Invasion or just Christmas Invasion, but obviously this is where we see the first outing for David Tennant's Doctor, and the Doctor that I really fell in love with at the time. I like him less as the Doctor now. Now I've gone into Classic Who. I much more prefer sort of like Patrick Troughton. I like Sylvester McCoy, Tom Baker. I mean, I like pretty much all. I mean, I like all the Doctors anyway, but I like David Tennant's Doctor less now since I've gone into more detail on Classic Who. But yeah, still, that's the regeneration story. Obviously, he gets killed by a Satsuma, actually, when the Doctor rebounds it off the button, and then it hits him, and then he falls back because he's near the edge. Which actually, now I come to think of it, it's kind of a little bit far-fetched that, whether a Satsuma would have the power to knock him off. But I suppose, anyway, he was on the edge, so we'll get... I mean, here's the one thing about Doctor Who that I am, and I'm probably a person that everyone hates. I'm a continuity person. I like everything to be, you know, continuity to be like that. And obviously in the Moffat era, we didn't have that. Obviously this was the RTD era, which was Russell T Davies era. But in the Moffat era, we didn't have that, and that really did annoy me quite a lot. But yeah, so they say a continuity and then a word with a W that isn't very nice, that is actually in the Bible, so you can kind of get the reference at that point. But yeah, I'm one of those people, which most people don't like, but, you know, I like that. I like continuity. Anyway, that's that one. So next we've got another Gridlock figure, which is Brannigan, another cat guy actually, who has an interspecies relationship with a human woman actually, and they only have little kittens, which you can see in the episode. So yeah, pretty cool figure. Again, standard range on that one. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I already talked about Gridlock. Again, another figure from an episode I've already talked about, which is a Dalek-Sec hybrid. This is actually the human Dalek hybrid from the episode with Laszlo in, which was The Daleks Take Manhattan and The Evolution of Daleks. Again, I'm not too sure on that title, Daleks Take Manhattan. I think it is right, but I'll have to double check on that one. But I really do like Series 3. Series 3 and Series 4 from Tennant era were really, really good. Series 2 I'm less keen on, however I know there are some gems in there, a couple of two-parters that are really good in there. You know, obviously The Impossible Planet Satan Pit, Age of Steel, what Age of Steel? Rise of the Cyberman, Age of Steel, that's it. And, you know, those two parts are brilliant, but then you've got some lesser quality ones. I mean, you know, Fear Her, it's not particularly really bad, it just, I mean, it's okay, it's watchable, but I just don't particularly like it that much. And then obviously the obvious one, which is Love and Monsters, which, again, I don't mind it. I mean, I know there's other people who really, really despise it, but I just don't, it's not particularly brilliant, is it? So, yeah, anyway, so that's that one, Dalek Sect Hybrid. So that is what a human Dalek looks like, if you want to know what it looks like. Which I was on the cliffhanger, because they did the cliffhanger for that, and I remember it very well because I sat down watching it with my parents, and he gets up out of his Dalek suit, and you just see him slowly get up, and he says, "I am a human Dalek," and then the titles go, and I was like, whoa, you know, I mean, I was only like 12 at the time, no, 11, no, yeah, 11, yeah, I was about 11 at the time, so for me, you know, I was like, whoa, you know, but, so yeah, that was a pretty cool episode. And then next we have the Faceless Grandma out of the Idiot's Lantern. Is this? I always confuse the Idiot's Lantern with the Gelf one, which is the Unquiet Dead. I don't know why I do that. I always mix the names up, but yeah, Faceless Grandma, essentially the Wire, which is like an alien entity that's got into the like electrical system or a TV system. She starts like sucking energy out of people's faces, and then the faces become, well, like this here, blank faces. And obviously the Doctor defeats her on like a telegram chat. I think it's at Alexandra Palace, which was in the 1920s, I believe. They did like one of the first broadcast, like TV broadcasts or something like that. I'm not too well up on the history of that, but I think it was there actually. And obviously he uses a psychic to paper to get past the guard, saying that he's like some royal person or something. But it was a pretty cool episode. You know, some people don't like it. I'm not. I'd say it's an okay episode. Maybe cool is maybe a bit too much of a strong word, but it's an okay episode. It's watchable. It's all right. You could maybe say it comes into that category of a bit more filler episode, but again, you can see here it's Series 2, and as I say, there's only a few real gems in Series 2 for me personally. Again, other people will have different opinions, but that's that one anyway. So yeah, just standard figures really there, nothing... Oh, standard figures there, nothing really amazing. What are we on? We're on 13 minutes. What I'll do is I'll go and grab some used figures, and I'll do a few of them. This haul might be about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to do a separate haul with some more used figures. So if you're not into Doctor Who, feel free, don't watch these videos, that's cool. I don't expect these videos to do really well on the channel or anything, because obviously Doctor Who isn't for everyone. I find it very, very hard when people say, oh, I don't like Doctor Who, because I'm such a huge fanatic of it kind of thing. But at the same time, I can kind of respect, you know, it's not everyone's taste. It's, you know, it's not necessarily as brilliant as some people make out, like myself. But, you know, it depends what your tastes are. But if you don't like it, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'll do another haul anyway. I will, you know, obviously I'll be getting quite a lot of Doctor Who figures in over the next few weeks. I will try and do the haul sparingly for the Doctor Who stuff, and I will try and do other hauls around them and other videos around them, so then I'm not just cluttering up the channel with like just, you know, 10, 20, 30 Doctor Who hauls every month, you know. It's just too specific really. So yeah, anyway, I'll get the other figures now and I'll come back in a sec. So essentially we've got a few of the Robots of Death here, which was the Tom Baker era. This was the, I think this is the Hinchcliffe Holmes era as well. I think it was like 1977, 1978. So it would fall... Oh, dropping my figures. It would fall into that sort of era. And essentially this was Robots of Death. Now this era of Doctor Who from, I believe it was like 1974 to 77, 78, was quite a dark era of Who. There was, you know, quite a bit of death. There was low lit, you know, the lighting was very lowly lit kind of thing. You know, the scenery, no, not the scenery, but the settings were quite dark and mysterious. I mean, just just to name a few, you know, the Talons of Weng Chiang, the Horror of Fang Rock, you know, Robots of Death. Now, yeah, okay, Robots of Death wasn't necessarily really lowly lit or anything, but the atmosphere and the killing and stuff was still quite prominent in this. So, essentially, this was a, yeah, 4th Doctor era, I think, was it series 15, series 16, series 15, it was around then anyway. As I say, I'm not as good with my classic Who knowledge. But this is the D8 4 robot. This is the Vok robot that actually helps the Doctor and Leela. The little black one here. And yeah, pretty cool little figure. Now these do go for about sort of 12 quid plus postage on their own. But what I've decided to do, because I've got a little bundle of a few of them here, I've got the SV7. I think this one might be like the overall controller. I'm not 100% on that, but I think it might be the overall controller there. But essentially, again, this is like, I think I've seen one of these go for 15 quid. But what I'm going to do with these three, and then I've got the one that does pretty much all the killing, I think this one is, with the red eyes there. And it's got a little bit of a mark on the top as well there. Oh, it's not coming out brilliantly on the green screen. But this is the V15, sorry, I don't know all the names. I'm not as good with Classic Who, I wish I was. But yeah, V15. One day I will. One day I'll be able to quote these names easy. But yeah, so what I'm going to do with these three is I'm just going to do a little bundle. Well, I've already done a little bundle actually. I've got them on for 30 quid plus postage. And I think that's a very fair price for the three figures there. Because, of course, you know, each figure goes for about £12 on its own. Maybe, you know, one of them goes for about 15, or you might be able to just about get 15. So I think for a free, you know, £29.99 plus postage is more than reasonable. Now, of course, with figures, you've kind of got to be careful how you sell them, because someone might just want one of these figures, so that will put them off buying the bundle. So I'm just going to try these in a bundle first off, and if they don't go, I'll just delist them, you know, and then separate them out into single figures, because that might be how we sell better. But at this point, I'm still exploring how to sell Doctor Who figures and stuff, so I'm just, you know, being creative with how I'm selling them, and just seeing what works best. And also, I'd rather, if these do sell in a bundle quite well, then I'd rather that anyway, because I'd rather, you know, higher priced items in my store than just like a load of lower priced and ending up paying, you know, more for postage, or ending up posting more out, etc. But to be honest with these things, it's not going to be real hassle postage, because they're just going to be, you know, large letter job. Not a large letter job, but a jiffy bag job. But yeah, so that's those figures, pretty cool. So next, I'm just going to whack through these pretty quick. We've got Purpurgillium Brown, which is Perry, obviously first seen in Planet of Fire, I think. Obviously in the Peter Davidson era, if I can even think. Peter Davidson era, which is the 5th Doctor era. Now, a lot of people complain it's a bit soft, the Davidson era, or it's a little bit kind, or you know, it's not as intense. But what I find is when I watch the latter part of the Tom Baker era, or even if I'm watching the entire Tom Baker era, when I then slip into the Davidson era, it's a very nice, easy transition, because you've gone from watching that Hinchcliffe Holmes era that's quite dark, you know, that's gritty, that's a lot of killing going on, etc., to this kind of more, you know, I don't know, it's just a really upbeat feel, the Davidson era. Now, don't get me wrong, there is still a lot of killing. I think, what was it, Resurrection of the Daleks has a higher body count in the first like 2 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever it is than Terminator or something does. So yeah, then like the first 10 or whatever minutes of Terminator. Basically, the first like 10 minutes of that episode has more higher body count than the first 10 minutes of Terminator or something. Anyway, I don't know, but I've heard that somewhere. So yeah, it still has a lot of death, but it's still a really nice era. Now, obviously, we have the regeneration scene, which is, well, I'm not going to say it, but you can kind of, if you watch it, you'll realise what I mean, with Perry, obviously, basically hung over the Doctor. It kind of does take away from the power of the regeneration scene. Now, if you've watched the episode, if you've watched Regeneration in the Caves of Androzani, you will know what I'm getting at, but I'm not going to hint at any more than that. But it does, for me, it does take away from it a little bit. I'm like, oh, you know, if that wasn't like that, I would be more focused on the regeneration. But anyway, still, I'm not complaining, but yeah, so that's Perry Brown. I've seen one go for 15 quid, so I'm going to go for 15 quid on that one, so pretty cool. So next we've got Magnus Greel and Mr. Sin from the Challenge of Wang Chiong, or Wang Chiong, I think. Now, these are pretty sought after figures, so the pair of them together like that go for 30 quid, or 25, 30 quid. So yeah, pretty happy with that. That's going to be a bundle. I think I've already put it on. I think I've got it on for 25 quid, something like that. So yeah, I don't really know much about the Talents of Wang Chiong. I've only watched it once or twice. I like the episode of what I saw of it, but I would need to watch it again and really fully understand the episode. But yeah, I'll just hold them up a bit closer so you can see them a bit better. So this guy here, Mr. Sin, he's like a little puppet. Well, he's like a... I think he's basically like an alive puppet or something like that anyway. But yeah, pretty cool little bundle there, and they're ones obviously to look out for, Magnus Greel and Mr. Sin. So there they are there. Even Mr. Sin on his own is like 15 quid. So yeah, pretty cool. Next we've got, I believe this is the Jeffrey Beavers version of the Master, and it is obviously from The Deadly Assassin, which is the first ever, a little fun fact for you, first ever Doctor Who story where the Doctor is like solely on his own, like there's no companion. So yeah, pretty cool that. And then I think this is the Sash of Rassilon that he's got on here, but I can't. I'd have to double check that. But I do think it is the I think Jeffrey Beavers played this version of the Master. You can see that he's decayed as well. And a good little keyword for this title, if you've got one of these, is obviously just put decaying Master in the title, or decayed Master. I see that being put in the title quite a lot by a lot of people. So yeah, essentially about well, I've seen this go anywhere from about 11 quid to 15 quid. I think I've gone for 13 quid on that, so it should sell fairly quickly for me. So yeah, pretty cool. The great thing about these figures, of course, is that they're mostly just going to be a sort of, you know, jiffy bag job. So it makes postage so easy, you know, just whack it in a jiffy bag, easy. So much less hassle, you know. Obviously the other side of my business is mainly ceramics and stuff. That can be quite a lot of hassle to package, so I'm quite glad I've started getting more Doctor Who figures, because these are a lot less hassle to package. So the two, you know, ceramics and figures marry quite nicely in the sense of, you know, some are easy to package, some are harder to package. So yeah, anyway, that's that one. And then we've got the Mummy, which is from, of course, the Pyramids of Mars with Sutekh the Destroyer, I think he's called, which is brilliant. He's a siren, isn't he, Sutekh? But essentially, I always loved Sutekh because, well, I've loved him since I've watched the episode a couple of years ago. I say I've always loved him, but I always liked him because he has the power to dominate the Doctor. Now, not many... You know, in terms of his mental capability, Sutekh can destroy the Doctor mentally. Now, yes, okay, the Daleks can overpower the Doctor, you know, in numbers or whatever, or, you know, maybe even in strategy, but Sutekh, something about Sutekh, that if the Doctor stood there, he is inferior, straight away, because Sutekh can control him with his mind, and that's what we see in the Pyramids of Mars. So, essentially, that's what I really do love about that villain, and I absolutely love the episode. I love, is it Marcus? I think it's Marcus, isn't it? The brother who gets taken over. I really do like how he acts in the, you know, actually the acting level of him in this. It's a really strong episode. Yeah, I can't fault this episode. It's a great episode. It's one of those episodes in Classic Who that is loved by pretty much the majority of people. It's probably not far behind things like Genesis of the Daleks and things like that. It's on that level, you know, it's on that... you know, maybe top 10, something like that. I'm not sure, you know, but for me, it's kind of on that level. I can't say that for other fans, but for me, it's kind of on that level. And obviously, it's in my favourite series of Doctor Who, which is season 13. At least I think it's in. Yeah, it is in season 13, isn't it? Which houses my favourite. Well, I say it's my favourite, but I have a few really high favourites, but this is pretty much one of my best episodes, which is the Seeds of Doom, of course, not to be confused with the Seeds of Death, which is a Patrick Troughton story, which I actually watched last night, which was very good on rewatch. But no, Seeds of Doom, very good story. And I have to say, like, City of Death, that's another high one for me. I hold that in quite high regard. I didn't on the first watch, but on the second watch I thought, yeah, I like this more than I think. But yeah, we've got the little, obviously this is an accessory here, so you might want to look out for this. I think there is another accessory that comes with this as well. So yeah, this kind of goes, it's not brilliant. I mean, I've seen some on auction go for like 6-7 quid. I think I've seen a couple on Buy It Now go for about 12 quid. With the accessory here, I might try and go for 15 quid first off and then maybe come down to 12. But I'm sure I'll get 12 quid out of this. So yeah, pretty happy with that one. Now the figures, now obviously I said about those new figures. These figures I got in a bundle for £120. Now there's way more figures than this. But I've also sold 2 figures, or well, I've sold 2 bundles of figures. I've sold one Sea Devil, which I would have absolutely loved to show you. Obviously, the Sea Devils were 3rd Doctor story. I absolutely love the introduction of the Sea Devils. I thought it was a brilliant story. I love the bit in the mines where the Doctor's using his sonic screwdriver to blow up the mines. Thought that was brilliant. But I would have loved to show you that because it had his gun as well, and the accessories are things that are quite hard to find. You know, people lose them and stuff. So he had his little gun, and I priced him at $14.99 yesterday, and he sold within a few hours. So maybe I undersold that, but to be honest, I thought 15 quid was quite high for that because I looked on solds and only one had sold for 15 quid. So yeah, I thought, well, you know, I must have maybe just priced right. I must have just got it right, to be honest. But yeah, so I would have loved to show you that. So I sold that for 15 quid, which is brilliant. I'm getting a bit of money back from the bundle already. And I also sold 2 of the pig slaves, Laszlo, and then another generic pig slave with the Dalek Sec, you know, hybrid figure that I've got there, but obviously not that one. You know, not that exact one. So essentially, I sold them, and I sold them for 10 quid. I think that was free postage though, because I saw that I think there was some sort of little mark on Dalek Sec, but then I looked at other ones on completed and solds, and I thought, I don't know whether there was a mark on there, so maybe I should have gone a bit higher on that one. So anyway, that's that one, and I think I've got one more figure, which is the Leela figure. Obviously, I talked about Leela before. When was it? Oh, in Robots of Death, when I was talking about that. So Leela is a savage. I forgot what planet she comes from, but she was first seen in the Face of Evil, the episode of Face of Evil. And unfortunately, she doesn't have a dagger with her. As I said a minute ago, the accessories sometimes can be, you know, can be missing if you pick these items up, but the accessories do give it a little bit of added value. Now this one, I don't know what I've gone for on this. I think 12 or 13 quid on this one. There is an actual variant of this figure which has like a little blue piece of tapestry coming down there, a little bit blue piece of cloth, and that one goes for, I think it's like 20 or 25 quid for that one figure. I think that is with accessories though, but yeah, this one is more of the standard version, so you're not going to get as much for it. But there you go, that's the figure there. I know I'm kind of waving it around a lot. So yeah, a lot of these figures, what I do like is the likenesses are pretty good. The likeness to Leela is fairly good on this figure. There's better likenesses in some of these figures, but you know, the likeness on the figures are pretty decent. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the rest of the used figures, just to give you a bit of an outline of what I'm expecting to get back on the bundle for the £120. I'm looking to expect about £350 back turnover, and then obviously we've got postage and fees and price I paid and the rest of it, PayPal fees, etc., all to come off that. But if I can over double my money on the bundle, then I'm more than happy, because essentially this stuff doesn't take me that long to process. I can bundle it up very, very fast because I know all the figures, you know, I know what the figures are, I know how to research them, I know all the names, so it's very, very quick for me. And then listing them, I've got templates set up. I can do like, literally I can do like 20 listings an hour, so it's not a problem for me time-wise I'm putting in. So even if I do only make, let's say, make 100%, you know, net profit margin on the bundle, that's 120 quid in the bank, and I've literally spent maybe a day processing it or less. So yeah, it is worth, you know, doing listing templates and, you know, selling stuff, you know, because you can actually process them so much faster. And then that does mean that if you see a bundle, you can kind of buy it for a little bit more, because obviously then you're not spending as much time processing it, so you can factor that in, and that means that you may be able to get more stock as well, because the price you can pay is maybe a little bit higher because of the amount of time it takes to process them is less. So anyway, with that being said, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Please do like it down below. all that sort of stuff. I don't know where I'm going from now on. I don't think there's anything else I need to say. I just feel like there's something else I need to usually say at the end of a video. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. My voice is going, as you can probably tell from talking so much. And I will see you in the next one, so I'll see you very soon, guys.